Peace, everybody. Happy 2026. We made it. We have finished and said goodbye to 2025. And now we are here in 2026. And we know with 2025, it was a 9 year. So a lot of us have been shedding skin, closing doors, closing chapters, releasing, surrendering, and even nines aren't always just about the endings and the disappointments. They're also wishes fulfilled. So sit with, some of the things that may have transpired last year and look at the blessings that also came too, because even endings are blessings. And I think that's a big part of what nines teach us, right? So and not only did we end a 9 year, it's a 9 cycle. So this 2026 is really ushering in really fresh starts, new beginnings. If you look at it, it's a 10 or a 1. So there's an opportunity to expand, to increase, to start, to, really have a lot of success. And it's ruled by that sun energy. So really like who you are, where you're headed, that path, like where can you shine, right? Where can you take center stage? Because that is a big part of that sun energy. So again, welcome to 2026. And in this, we are now beginning a new weekly energy. As a lot of you know, we wrapped up 2025 in the King of Spades week. And now we are ushering in 2026 in the Ace of Hearts week. So the years start on the hearts. And so the first week of the year is an Ace of Hearts. The second week is a Two of Hearts, and so on and so forth, all the way till we get to that 52nd week, which was the King of Spades. So it's funny how that works too. January 1st, new opportunities, new beginnings, new intentions, right? New goals. And let's look at the ace, right? And let me zoom in a little bit so we can see the plate a little bit more. We're going to go through all the cards that the Ace of Hearts has in its spread and just talk about, ace energy, which, as you can guess, what does it represent? Something new, new beginnings, fresh starts. And with the Ace of Hearts, it really is about that love. What do you love to do? What gets your soul going, your heart beating? Because it's a heart, right? And this is a lot of like love, self-love, new births, babies, children being born. That the Ace of Hearts represents childbirth. But not always will a whole baby be born, but I always look at the Ace of Hearts as like the birth of something new, a new passion, a new relationship, new love, new excitement, new joy, new opportunity, new jobs, all of it, especially if your heart is in it, right? So what new things would you like to see for yourself this year? Especially as we're in this Ace of Hearts week and really like looking at things that kind of get your heart going, get you excited. And also like, this is also about like self-love, making sure you're pouring into self, doing things you love to do, right? That's a big part of that ace energy. So let's jump into the Ace of Hearts spread and just go through all the cards that the Ace of Hearts has in its life and what kind of things we could maybe expect or how to kind of maneuver and utilize this energy, right? So the Ace of Hearts sits in this row, which is Jupiter, right? And then this is Uranus. So Jupiter, Uranus is where the Ace of Hearts sits on the plate. So that is its, natural energy. And what do we know about Jupiter? It expands. It can be travel, blessings, higher learning. It's like the good luck planet. And then you got Uranus, which can be like a little bit of a wild card type of energy. And the Ace of Hearts, since there's only technically one birthday that aligns with the Ace of Hearts, it's an unusual energy. It can be a little quirky, it can be big, it can be very intense, or it can bring like sudden opportunities, sudden new beginnings, new directions, new passions, something maybe you've been wanting to do, and in this week you get this like fire up your and it motivates you to pursue it, and it can come suddenly out of the blue. That's Uranus. And we got to be careful of like overemphasizing because of that Jupiterian energy or getting ahead of ourselves. And also what always happens in the first week of the year, we have all these excitements and all these goals, and then it can fizzle. So try to like Don't get overzealous and over, reaching to a certain point, like in a short amount of time. Give yourself grace, one step at a time. Like, don't get too ahead and then get disappointed if it doesn't happen in that time frame. This is really like just, again, getting excited, having a new direction, and really looking at the long term and how you can achieve these goals and these things that you want to do throughout the year and sustain it too. Now, when we look at the same in the same box that the Ace of Hearts is, we can see it's supporting karma card, which is a Three of Hearts, right? What do we know about threes? Very creative, very passionate, especially that heart energy, maybe taking risks. And sometimes with that Three of Hearts being its supporting karma card, it may, where it's learning to trust itself, not look outside itself, but also like, it's coming from a space of a lot of creativity, very social, even a little bit quirky or, talkative, expressive, risk-taking with threes, but again, very creative. There can also be some younger, immature energy with that Three of Hearts. It's like that inner child that needs an outlet of like, art and drawings and paintings in an imaginary world, right? So there is this innocence of the Ace of Hearts that they have, a very youthful, playful, creative energy, and like I said, a little bit of quirkiness. But then also the challenging karma card is the Ace of Diamonds. So it really is like beneficial to like trust yourself. When your heart's in it, it can actually be very lucrative, very rewarding, a high value, right? And the Ace of Diamonds, both of this is like new beginnings, new starts. They can really restart their life at any point. And I think they're also learning a lot of self-worth, right? Being very self-motivated. You have all the answers, right? You don't have to look outside of yourself with this three. But when you really love what you're doing and your heart's in it, it can actually bring you new blessings, new opportunity, new excitement, new paths, new money, new business. This can be very entrepreneurial as well. I said that right. Because again, very independent. That's the aces. Like, I'm good on my own. I'm very self-motivated, self-driven. So that's a big, and that's kind of like, you got to hype yourself up this week. Like, it's a new year, it's a fresh start, it's a one energy, right? So, really looking for those new opportunities and really that independent type of energy, kind of leaving any codependent or, looking outside of yourself is a big part of that path of the Ace of Hearts. Now, their Mercury card is the Ace of Diamonds. So even again, right, that self-starting motivation, money, business opportunities. And they really, it's almost like they get a new start every day inside their mind and the direction that they're headed. But they also could be, again, very independent, very self-sufficient. Again, that entrepreneur spirit. I can do this on my own. Type of energy, very impulsive at times, very impatient at times. So slow down a little bit. Again, don't get too ahead of yourself. You're not gonna be able to crush all the goals in 1 or 2 days, and don't beat yourself up because of it. Again, the long haul, one step at a time. Every day is a new beginning. So look at it like that. Every day is a fresh start to, chip away at your goals, your tasks, the things that you want to achieve this year. But realize you have it all within you to do it. Now, their Venus card is a Queen of Diamonds, so fancy, right? Definitely very generous, great business savvy. Both their first two cards in life are these diamonds. Very, again, risk-taking, management, bringing people together, having a good eye on what works in business, what doesn't work. And again, it's like seeing their value, seeing their worth, raising the price. Very creative too. Very good, again, at like the gathering and being generous, especially if they love you, they'll definitely treat you. That's a big thing with that queen. But also having a queen in Venus, like, really love being of service, like maybe even like a creative business for women, like beauty products. I could see that with the Ace of Hearts, being really talented and marketable as well. So if you need like marketing, reach out to it. Ace of Hearts would be very good. They're very marketable as well. Can definitely gain her a lot of money, a lot of attention. Queens very much can gain her a lot of attention. And then their Mars card is the Five of Hearts. So there is like their emotions are kind of subjected to whatever way the wind may blow that day, because it's a 5 and it's a heart and it's in Mars. So one, they can be a little restless. They can be a little spontaneous. Again, kind of walking to the beat of their own drum. And maybe even in this week, we're kind of like maneuvering waves of emotions that can come with this five of hearts. Like there can be impulse, there could be spontaneity, there could be I don't want this anymore, right? And it comes like, out of the blue. And so just kind of ride that wave this week, right? The five of hearts also makes that ace of hearts a little, more passionate. When there's a heart in Mars, there's a lot of passion. And again, as long as they're able to flow and adjust and pivot and be able to kind of go with those emotions that can come, you never know what direction you may go and where you may land, but it's like having that faith and trusting in that. But again, there can be, so watch the impatience, watch the quick, five in Mars can make, again, impulsiveness, spontaneity. But again, if you're able to adapt, just the emotions can get intense as well. Jupiter is the three of clubs, and the three of clubs in Jupiter means they can all of us this week can really like expand upon our talents, our writing, our reading, our music, our creative outlets would be very beneficial this week with the three of clubs in Jupiter. If you're writing a book, this is a dope week to do it, to get it out, to get it to the masses, right? The three of clubs can also be having success in multiple different areas. Just watch. The low side of that would be to worry, because what do we know about Jupiter? It will expand whatever it touches. So it's either creative expansion or worry expansion. You choose, right? And so if you do get worried or you get overwhelmed, find an outlet. It's just energy that needs to move. And again, color, bake, do cartwheels, dance, blow bubbles, whatever it is. Remember, these are very childlike, creative energies. They just need an outlet. Watch feeling, a little stress, or, in your mind, lots of ideas, write them down. You could it could come to you like that, and you never know where it could take you. So kind of, have faith in that. Three of Spades is the Saturn card. You do got to watch the hypochondria, the worry. I've seen a lot of sickness going around. Take care of your immune system, protect your energy. If other people are not well, don't go there, right? Choose you, Ace. Right? So be careful of feeling like you're being pulled in different directions. With the three of spades, again, watch the stress, watch the worry, watch the anxiety. Again, find a healthy outlet to move that energy that will help to relieve that stress. Typically a creative outlet, an expressive outlet, it is very beneficial. But again, with the weather and the cold and people not feeling well, keep up with your immune system, keep up with your health, get some rest. Like that's going to be key. Let's see. Uranus is the nine of hearts. So there can be in this week some sudden endings, releases. Maybe you say, okay, this goal isn't going to work. You're kind of like feeling things out as we're moving through the first few days of the year. You may have to let a plan go. You may have to release a relationship. Maybe you thought it could come into the new year, but after you were like, maybe not. Right? Maybe I don't want to take this with me. But also with the nine of hearts, it can be a sudden something coming to you suddenly out of the blue. Just again, watch the emotions. This is agape love, universal love. That's love that doesn't have attachments or expectations or conditions. It just loves from the overflow. And you may get sudden jolts of that in this week because it's Uranus. It could come suddenly. It could come out of the blue unexpectedly. So, again, the most important thing is like seeing yourself as that source of love and, not getting too attached or expecting you from others. That's where disappointment can come within relationships, right? Neptune is the seven of clubs. So there can be some vague worry. You really want to pay attention to where your mind goes and how you may respond. The biggest thing with that is staying in the moment, staying in the now. Again, seeing yourself as the source. Realizing thoughts are things, you are what you think you are. And so in this week, you may need to kind of really reevaluate how you respond or where your mind goes when something doesn't go the way you thought it was going to go. Can you still see the silver lining, the blessing, right? It's very much about that. Also with the seven of clubs, remember you have the gift of, speaking things into existence, the power of the word, the power of the tongue, so what are you speaking? You're speaking life, you're speaking death. And especially since it's in Neptune and the sevens are very spiritual, they're ruled by Neptune, really speak your desires and wishes and goals over yourself this week and the whole year, but speak positively, right? Again, pay attention to your thoughts and your words and where they go, right? That's going to be key. Now, Pluto is the five of diamonds. And if you remember, their Mars card is also a five. And I believe the ace of spades or the ace of clubs has this Mars and Pluto are fives for them as well. So again, being able to go with the flow, being able to adapt, being able to pivot with the five of diamonds in Pluto, there could be like money in, money out, money spent, money made, and don't let that cause, like, you have to just be able to trust that it will come in and it'll go right back out, right? And be grateful you got it, right? And also don't resist change because because it's an ace, the change is kind of what brings the new beginning. So don't resist it. Be able to pivot, be able to adapt, be able to go with the flow, and even without knowing exactly where you may go or where you may land, it's like that's where that faith has to come in. And when you trust it, and when you really get, like, this is really important of like having that inner control, because sometimes having a five in Pluto and a five in Mars makes them very impulsive and very impatient. But when they realize the result card is the Queen of Spades, that they're really that's the card of spiritual self mastery, and they are an ace, which is the self. So they're really learning how to be able to, when they learn that, to pivot, to adapt, to adjust, and to be able to go with the flow. They're really working on mastering themselves from the inside out, realizing that they have all the answers. They don't have to look outside themselves. This is a very powerful card to have as a result card. Today, January 2nd, is a Queen of Spades day. It's the only day of this entire year we get a Queen of Spades. And it's funny that it falls in an Ace of Hearts week, and it's the result card to the Ace of Hearts. So really, again, throughout this whole week, realizing you're the source, you're the plug, you have everything you need within you. And that's really like aligning with that spiritual self-mastery that the Queen of Spades. Now, that's not light work. That's like looking at yourself in the mirror, realizing you're creating the world you're living, not blaming anybody else, and then really, like, not just, it's also about nurturing yourself, having grace with yourself, having patience with yourself, realizing you are a work of art as well. And working on yourself every single day is a beautiful thing. So, that's how you master yourself. That's how you kind of get to this point of that the Queen of Spades kind of holds. Now, their cosmic lesson is the Jack of Clubs. So again, it kind of goes with like how they speak, kind of raising the bar, very trusting that initiation that the Jack is trying to bring them to a higher level of thinking, thinking outside the box, very creative mind, gift of gab too. Like they can really talk, and they have that word play, if you will. So conversations, communications, and again, like, remember, Jacks can kind of like flip flop from that peasant side to that royal side. So what kind of conversations are we having? Are they uplifting? Am my thoughts being revolutionized? Am I thinking beyond the limits of my own mind, right? Like that's a big part of that Jack of Clubs. I mean, it sits Uranus too, so it's like kind of constantly getting those downloads. And then the cosmic moon is the Nine of Diamonds. The moon card that pushes it, or the supporting card, is an Eight of Spades. So they have a lot of strength, a lot of power. They can be very physically strong, do sports, very talented. They're supported by that eight, and it's about a lot of consistency, that will to not give up, that overcoming obstacles through perseverance, determination, and ambition is exactly aligned for the Ace of Hearts. The Nine of Diamonds in the moon, as the cosmic moon, one, being very generous. I can see that with the Ace of Hearts as a cosmic moon, being very generous, not being attached. They also have to learn how to let go of things, right? Not hold on to disappointments. That can be hindering. So again, today or this week, as we're moving through this new energy, don't be attached. Don't hold on. If it doesn't have value, if it's holding you back, free it, unanchor yourself. This also can make them very generous, very giving. They learn, how to trust the cycles of things coming and cycles of things going. That's a big part of those nines. And then the transformation card is the Seven of Spades. And I find that really fascinating because how, you see a lot of aces and sevens very connected. And you see, like, they have the Ace of Spades has two sevens. These have sevens all in their spread. And what it shows is it's like you're the source. Having faith in yourself, believing in yourself, the fact that the Ace of Hearts transforms into the most powerful seven, the Seven of Spades. It's like they have to have faith in themselves. They have to believe in themselves. They have to trust in themselves, right? And it's even like every time they do it, like it brings them even higher. Remember, the sevens, just like the jacks, are the bridges of the cards. The sevens from the mundane to the spiritual, and the Jack's from what I call the peasant to the royal. And so the Ace of Hearts is constantly, because remember, even their cosmic lesson is a Jack, and they transform into a 7. So again, but it's like you elevating yourself, really seeing that when you come more to that spiritual, you're not attached, there's less disappointment, you have faith, you trust, you believe. So they're constantly going through, even like a purge, because the 7 of Spades is a very strong card of like ridding yourself of things that aren't good for you, that aren't healthy, that just weigh you down, that don't serve you. And so they constantly go through this transformation of like, okay, is this good for me? No. Okay, I need to get rid of it. Right. And so again, but most importantly, like having faith in yourself, having faith in this new year, this 1 year, this new beginnings, again, letting things that ended end and don't look back, look forward. Right. And again, having a lot of faith and believing in yourself that everything is happening as it should. But one of the best things you can do, because we have 3s in here, and that 7 of Clubs, is if you do get ahead of yourself, right? Because the thing with the 7s is because they're faith or fear, there's no in between, there's no gray, there's no middle ground. Bring yourself down to the now, right? Because a lot of that is just us worrying about stuff that hasn't even happened yet, or we're worried about stuff that has already happened. And both of those take you out of the moment. And that's one thing, like at the Aces, because it's like every day's a new day, every day's a new beginning. And when you can really look into yourself, have faith in yourself, stay in the present, stay in the moment, and not get too ahead of yourself or go back to things, you really start to, it brings a lot of things to be grateful for, appreciative. And again, having that faith takes you out of that fear, takes you out of that lack, takes you out of that scarcity energy that those 7s it can really be debilitating. So in this very sometimes impulsive energy because of the 5s and the 3s, every day kind of check in with yourself. Do I love this? Am I doing this? Where's my heart in it? Finding that balance, really, doing something maybe each day, a little bit, something you love, something for you. It'll really it'll really align with that Ace of Hearts energy. So again, happy 2026. Let's bring in this energy with new blessings, new opportunities. And don't forget, there's a new course coming if you're interested in learning about these cards. Starting February 1st, I and another teacher will be teaching together. And of course, your Destiny Through the Cards is what the course is called. It's a 9-week course. You can find all the information at thefulldeck.net, where you can sign up, get all the things that come with the course. Again, it's 9 weeks. It'll be on Sundays starting February 1st from 12 to 2, held on Zoom. And again, if you would like more information, you can reach out to me, Gina at thefulldeck.net, or check out thefulldeck.net for more information about the course. This is a perfect year, especially if it being a 1 or 10 year of pouring into yourself. And one thing these cards will teach you is your path, your purpose, your cards, so many things. So join me this February 1st for a new course in these cards. And again, happy 2026, happy Ace of Hearts week. I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.